Donuts. Welcome to the Dolls and Donuts podcast, episode 17. In addition to our usual segments, we'll hear about Ashley's trip to LA and Robin's trip to Spain. But first, we'd like to introduce our special guest, Wendy Matthews from Farm Sanctuary.
So we're super excited and lucky to have Wendy Matthews from Farm Sanctuary joining us. Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
So I was wondering if you could tell our listeners how you got involved with Farm Sanctuary.
Sure. So it's kind of a long and winding story, but I'll do my best to keep it brief. I grew up in upstate New York, and it was in a very traditional family, meat and potatoes on the table every night, eating fast food, just not really ever thinking about where my food came from. And like it goes for many people, it was in college when I really started to learn about food systems. And the first glimpse for me was in this amazing class I took called Going Locavore. It's right at the height of the local foods movement, and we did a lot of reading about food justice and food politics. And I read Michael Pollan's The Omnivore's Dilemma. And that was really the first time I'd even heard the word factory farming. I was just completely horrified by what I was reading. I couldn't believe just how irreverent we'd become about animals and how much they were treated like machines instead of natural living beings. And I was totally taken aback. And so I decided I was going to start only buying humane meat, quote unquote humane meat. And it didn't take long for me to dig a little further and realize that, that's very much a myth too. And there's a lot you can't trust when it comes to labeling. And of course, we know there are some things that really can never be considered humane, but at the time my mind wasn't working that way. So it came down to, I decided if I'm going to eat meat, I want to know exactly where it comes from. And I got a weekend job volunteering at a farm, and it was a pig farm, and they had chickens as well. And it was, as far as farming goes, best case scenario. I mean, it was small. The animals had lots of space. They had names. They got individual care. And I thought, yes, this is where I want to get my meat from. And so I did. But as I worked there, the closer I got to food production, I just realized there are these things that need to happen in order for an animal to become meat that I just wasn't comfortable with. And there's the obvious things like slaughter, but there's also things like castration without pain relief and, just things that are very painful and very unnatural. And I could see that these animals really were suffering. And I just realized if this is the best we can do, like this is the best farm I can imagine, and I'm still this uncomfortable, then I don't think I want anything to do with eating animals anymore. And I'm getting to Farm Sanctuary, I promise. So I just started reading everything I could, just picking up every book about animal rights, animal protection, just trying to figure out like, how can we change this? What can I do? And I stumbled upon Jean Bauer's book, which is called Farm Sanctuary. And I was just really enamored with the concept of reimagining the way the humans and animals can coexist. So I went for a visit to their New York sanctuary, and 6 years later, here I am.
So do you think that if all kids, I say kids, but I guess I just mean like
young adults?
Yeah, people in school were to be required to have an internship on a farm, how do you think that would affect like veganism in general?
I would like to think that if most people followed the path that I followed, they would come to the conclusions that I came to. But I think that, it's a bit optimistic. I think there's a lot of different ingrained things in our upbringing that are hard to shake. There's a lot of people who actively work every day on factory farms, and it hasn't moved them away from eating meat. But there's a lot of psychological factors at play, and they do set up farms so that the workers are only seeing one step in the process, and they kind of become what's the right word? Desensitized. And so I don't know, but I think it would be a good start. I think children really have a natural affection for animals, and if given the opportunity to connect with them earlier on in life, I think it would put people on a path towards making more conscious food choices.
Yeah, my manager was when I started my job, I was already vegan, and she was pescatarian, and so we talked about it a lot because she had an interest, definitely had an interest in, she didn't eat any land animals, and she hadn't for a long time. And I told her about, because my husband and I have been longtime supporters of Farm Sanctuary, and I told her about Jean's book, and she said she read like the first. I've read it, but it's been a while. But I mean, she read like one of the first chapter talks about like dairy, and she said like by the time she was like through the first chapter, she was vegan. And I actually,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I told Jean that at the next Walk for Farm Animals, and he was like, "Oh, that's great." I was like, "Yeah, so you got another vegan from that book," and she didn't even have to finish the first chapter.
Yeah, even as someone who was already kind of on that journey, when I picked up his book, I was so inspired by it, to the point where I felt called to come work for this organization, but I definitely would recommend it to anyone. And his new book too, he has the latest one's called Living the Farm Sanctuary Life, and both of them are just really, really beautiful and inspiring.
So we're obviously very envious of the fact that you get to play with animals all the time. So we're wondering if you have any favorite animals.
That is like asking if I have a favorite child. It's such a hard question. Um, no, if I'm being totally honest, I do have a favorite. His name is Jimmy, and he's a pig at our Acton Sanctuary right outside of LA. And he has a condition called rhinitis, which makes him look like he has a very smushed nose. And it's just the cutest thing in the entire world.
That sounds so cute. I'm a sucker for smushed face dogs, so I feel like I would really like this pig.
Yeah, it's totally the same effect.
The Acton one is by LA. That's the one I want us to go to.
I've been to the Orland one twice, and I was just trying to look up what the name of this one sheep that I just loved. I have his picture here, and he's pretty. Aww. He's a crap. What's his name? I have his picture, but I can't remember his name. He has his own page on the on the Farm Sanctuary website and stuff. I can't remember. He has such a funny looking face too, and I can't remember his name. But
is it Squish face?
No, it's not Squish, but he has like really. He's got like really crazy teeth that stick out, and it's really.
Oh my gosh, I do know who you mean. And really curly hair, right? Or not hair, wool. I know who you mean, and I can't think of his name. He's one of the older sheep. And
he's very really sweet. He's very unique looking. Yes. Totally blanking on his name. But we went the second time. We were there, and he had sneezed and scared all the sheep, and they all ran away from him. And he just stayed like, "Look, guys, what'd I do?" It was so cute. I love him.
I love adorable.
When I go. Yeah.
I feel like that happens when I sneeze.
Yeah, everyone's away from you?
Yeah, some people just are loud sneezers. We can't help it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be friends with us.
I think one of my new favorite animals is one of our newest rescues here at the Acton Sanctuary. And I got to spend some time with her yesterday. I was up at the sanctuary filming, and she is just one of the sweetest little beings I've ever known. But she's a adorable little 3-legged lamb named Regina. And she lost her leg due to a really sad neglect story. So I can tell it to you if you'd like. But it's got a very happy ending.
I only want to hear anything that has a happy ending.
Okay. Well, basically, she was born into a school agricultural program. So, those programs are problematic for a lot of reasons, things like 4-H, where kids are raising animals. But she was born a runt, and, it happens in nature sometimes that the mother will reject the runt. So her mother did, but they left her in with the rest of the sheep. So Regina was this tiny little sheep, tiny little lamb, and she's living in very close quarters with the other sheep, and she's struggling to get enough food. And in that struggle, her back right leg was broken. And so, that's already completely heartbreaking to think of a lamb with a broken leg. But the saddest part is that no one did anything. So Regina was left in that same enclosure. She didn't get any veterinary care. She had no pain medication. And she spent the next 2 weeks of her life, hobbling around and dragging her broken leg behind her. And eventually the school's program administrator decided they had to euthanize her instead of getting her care. And, as you can imagine, the students were totally heartbroken, and they went home and told their parents, and a kind parent reached out to Farm Sanctuary to ask if we could help. And so we set off in LA traffic, and we showed up at the school and watched all the students, give their heartfelt goodbyes. But we took her up to a hospital, and we got there at 3 a.m. and had her leg examined. And then we got the bad news, which was the leg was broken in 3 places, and there was no way to save it, so they ended up having to amputate. But the happy ending is that Regina is such a fighter. It's amazing how well she gets along on this leg. She's, standing and walking and running around the pasture and jumping up and down, and she's just got more energy and enthusiasm than, any other lamb we've ever seen. And she just needed some care. She just needed some love and some medication and a lot of hours from our caregivers. But she's doing great.
Thank goodness that mom knew to call you. Like, how did she know?
I don't know. I don't know if she, had seen us online or if she'd been for a tour. But yeah, thank God. And then to add insult to injury, when we tested her, she had Giardia, which is a gastrointestinal parasite. And so she wasn't allowed to be with any of the other sheep for months. She couldn't be with them until she tested negative. So she got to be really good friends with all of our human caregivers. They spent a ton of time with her. She was never lonely. But just yesterday, I was at the sanctuary, and she finally got cleared from Giardia, and she got to go in with the other sheep and meet her family for the first time. So a lot of tears. It was really, really beautiful. And we know, her sheep family will love her as much as her human family does.
Oh, I hope she loves them back.
It seemed promising. There's a lot of snuggling and rubbing noses yesterday. So
I'm like, if I've been sleeping in a bed for a few weeks, I don't know if I want to go sleeping in the hay anymore.
Right. She's definitely spoiled. And there's a cute video of her on animalsoffarmsanctuary.com. So if anyone wants to see Regina, you can see pics and a video of her running around.
Are those videos also on the Instagram account?
They are, yes. So we're just at Farm Sanctuary.
Okay, perfect. Okay, what else do we want to know? Oh, of course, what we want to know. We want to hear all about compassionate meals.
Yes, I would love to tell you about that. So that's our newest program. And basically what we're trying to do is inspire people to take a friend out for a vegan meal and to talk about why it's important to them, and then share the experience on social media. So we've been producing some videos with a selection of celebrities and experts and influencers, and we're also asking our audience to create their own. So we've been getting a lot of awesome content from people. But the idea is that, through these videos, we can convey a couple of important ideas. The first being that eating a plant-based meal is really simple. It's an action that anyone can do. The second is that compassion shows up in a lot of different ways in our lives. So the conversations center around compassion because, we feel compassion towards our friends, towards our family, towards companion animals. And choosing a vegan meal is really just one more way we can add more compassion into our world. And that's a value a lot of people really already connect with. And then finally, just that friends have a huge potential to influence their friends to make a more compassionate choice. So we just want to empower people in our audience to go out, to have a meal with someone, to break the stereotype of the angry vegan and really meet people where they are and meet them with compassion and have a nice, genuine discussion about why it's so meaningful for them. So we filmed a bunch so far. We did one with Russell Simmons. We did one with Kevin Smith, the actor and director, and his daughter Harley Quinn, who is a vegan. So those are all on Farm Sanctuary's YouTube. They're on our Instagram. And if there's anyone out there who wants to create their own video, if you go to compassionatemeals.com, all the instructions are there for creating your video and uploading it. And if you want to watch them, if you search the hashtag Compassionate Meals, you should find all the ones that different YouTubers and bloggers have already done.
Okay, so I have a few questions, backup questions.
Sure.
One is, when you say to post stuff on social media, are you talking about like any platform?
Yeah, so we found so far our biggest platforms are Facebook and Instagram for this program. Instagram's taking off a little bit more, so those are the top two, but there's some people doing it on Twitter as well. So yeah, definitely across platforms. As long as the hashtag Compassionate Meals is there, we should be able to find them and share them.
And is it mostly videos that you're looking for, or photos also?
Definitely both. Ideally videos. It's really fun to be able to watch little clips of people, taking out their mom or their dad or their friend or their teacher for a meal and exposing them to something new. But photos of people having a meal together is fantastic as well. We just want to know that people are out there doing it.
Awesome. Okay, so here's a question that I hope some of our listeners will benefit from, and I'm not just asking for myself. But I really have strength in feeding people and taking people to vegan meals. That I can do no problem. I do it all the time. I find that my weakness comes in the talking part. So I wonder if when people go to the website, do you give advice on some talking points?
Yes, we do. So there's a list of about 4 bullets to prompt conversation. They're pretty simple, and I think at the shoots I've been on so far and the friends I've had do this have found them really helpful. But in addition to those, I'm also working on another packet of just kind of general tips for talking to your friends about veganism. So that should be up on the website soon as well.
Okay, cool. And that website is compassionatemeals.org?
Compassionatemeals.org works, and compassionatemeals.com as well. So either one, you'll find us.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I have another question that might just be for me, but I hope that it's for our listeners too. And that is, if people want to come and visit the animals, or if they want to, are you allowed to come and visit? Do you have to set up an appointment?
No, you are absolutely allowed to come and visit. We do have set visiting hours. So our tours are on Saturday and Sunday. And this is for, I'm speaking just about the Southern California shelter since that's the closest to you guys, but we do have tours in Orland, California, and Watkins Glen, New York as well. But the one in California, in Southern California, we have Saturday and Sunday tours. They're at 11, 1, and 3. And they take about an hour. So you get to walk around, go into the barns, go into the pastures. You get to pet the pigs and feed the chickens, and it's a really magical experience.
Okay, and so what if some of our listeners went there and wanted to do more? Do you have suggestions for how they could help?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers and so happy to have them. There's really 2 ways to volunteer. And the first one is a big time commitment, but it's really the experience of a lifetime. And that's our internship program. So the minimum length for an internship is 1 month. And we offer a pretty wide variety of opportunities. So we have interns in our office in Los Angeles who do communications work or video production. And then we actually have animal care internships where you'd be right on the sanctuary and helping us with the day-to-day care of the animals. So the application for the internships is online. It's on farmsanctuary.org. If you click the Get Involved tab, you should find everything you need there. And then the second, lower commitment way is by coming to one of our volunteer work parties. And at the California Sanctuary, we do those on, let me double check so I don't give you the wrong info, on the 1st and 3rd Saturday of the month. And those days are basically a day when we have a group of people come up. You don't have to come in a group. You can sign up as an individual or you can bring friends. But it's just a day of volunteering where we'll have a big project for everyone to work on. We take everyone on a tour, so you get an hour-long tour, and then we do a big vegan potluck lunch. So just a really fun way to get involved, to meet some other like-minded people, to get to spend time with the animals and to help out. So you do have to sign up ahead of time, and that is also on farmsanctuary.org.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, going back to the compassionate meals, when you described what it is, and that very, very much reminds me of like the campaign that Veggie Girl does.
Yeah.
About like is it like bring a
friend?
Oh, wasn't it like a Veggie
Bring
Girl?
a muggle. It definitely. Sorry, we use this word muggle that Ashley's husband coined, which is amazing. But Veggie Girl doesn't actually use that term.
They use virgin, don't they?
I don't think they use virgin either.
Oh, did I just make that up?
A
Veggie Girl virgin. That sounds good. They need to pay me. They need to pay me for that idea. But yeah, this is something that I think is becoming. Lots of people are thinking about this. That like through food, this is the way to kind of expand people's minds a little bit. Because I've taken people to Veggie Girl and they've been like, did not believe that they weren't eating meat. I've heard people like in the next booth being like, oh, this is meat, right? And they're like, oh no, nothing here has meat in it. So I think, that's, and plus it's like you're not shoving like videos of, factory farming videos in people's face, which doesn't usually go over too well. But yeah, I think this is something that a lot of people that are interested in this kind of life, organizations, restaurants, whoever, are coming to the conclusion that this is a good way to move things forward. So I've been seeing it over and over now.
Yeah, I'm a really firm believer that food is one of the best forms of advocacy out there. You can theorize and you can share, like you said, the darker end of things, but I think there's something that seems really scary and unachievable about veganism. There's such a stigma. And then when you sit down and realize you can still eat all this amazing food and be doing a compassionate thing, that's really powerful. So getting people to the table is the first step, in my opinion, and then getting them to the farm.
All right. So I just want to recap for our listeners that compassionatemeals.com is where we can get information on tips of what to talk about, etc., and posting videos to Facebook and Instagram and using the hashtag compassionate meals. Is there any other information that you want to share? Farm Sanctuary has all the cute videos on Instagram.
No, I think you nailed it. Find us on social media. Whenever you're posting food photos or photos of you eating with friends, just use that hashtag compassionate meals, and we'll find you and reshare, because we love seeing our followers out there in the world being everyday advocates.
Yay, I'm gonna do it.
I think I just remembered his name. Is it Melvin?
Yes!
Yay!
Yes. Oh, good. That was bothering me. Melvin,
It just
of course.
like light bulbed over my head, and I was like, Melvin! I love Melvin. Yes, I love him. He's so cute.
He's amazing.
Okay, I just had to share that.
I'm so glad you remembered before we said goodbye.
I know, it was gonna
I know, me
bother me. Now we can all sleep soundly tonight because we all know his name.
So Wendy, you're welcome for Ashley not texting you tonight at midnight when she remembered.
It's Melvin!
I probably would have been thrilled to get that text.
And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure. I love what you guys do, and thanks for spreading the good word.
Thank you for working for Farm Sanctuary, because like I said, my husband and I have been longtime supporters, so you're doing good work over there.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm lucky to do what I do.
And now it's time for Ask Ashley.
That's me!
So Ashley, how are the animals doing?
Like usual, some good, some bad. We're going to talk about, let's see, bad, good.
Oh, two goods.
Yeah,
All right.
two goods. So the first one is from usnews.com, and the USDA removes animal welfare reports from its website. So you may or may not have heard about this yet. There's a lot of crap going on in the country right now, so this probably was buried under all the other horrible things that are happening right now. Mm-hmm. But the story is that the Agriculture Department has removed animal welfare inspection reports, enforcement records, and other information about the treatment of animals from its website, citing privacy laws. So usually this website would have all this information on there.
And the information is about all farms?
Well, it's used by advocacy groups and other members of the public to look up information, like, for instance, on commercial and dog and horse breeding, who, that's a very popular place for abuse, the commercial breeding of those two animals. And it will list reports of violations at what facilities. So if you are just sort of say a random citizen, if you have like concerns about, I want to buy a horse or whatever.
Oh yeah, you can
if you
look
have
it
concerns, you could potentially, in theory, look at this website and look at this, and you could see all of if there was any violations.
Oh, that's so nice.
If also facilities about animal testing labs, and whether the violations have been corrected. Because sometimes you're just fined and you goes on, like whatever, pay the money, just whatever, and it goes on. So just for the average citizen that is welfare-minded, this could be useful. But also, like I said, advocacy groups use it to keep tabs on these people and these organizations that don't have high standards. So they removed all this information. So this is no longer available to the public. And they have said, well, it's available through the Freedom of Information Act
requests.
But that is very expensive and very time. It takes a long time to get the information from there.
So we do those at work.
Yeah.
Because we work with the Department of Education, and it takes so long. Sometimes just from the time when I submit my request to the time when they email me back and say that they've received my request, 2 months.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And when
and then they'll give me a quote for how much money it's going to cost me for them to retrieve that information for me, and it's just a It's going to be a huge deterrent. No one's going to want to go through all that.
Yeah, and also like by the time you get the information, it's not even like it's not the most recent. It's not as valid. It's it's outdated. Mm-hmm. So at a snapshot of the time when you requested it, and then I sent it to you probably, or however much red tape you have to go through. I don't really know how accurate it would be when you receive it, but this was kept up and was pretty, it was relevant information for the time that it's being put on the website. So now, this is just so crazy. Like if people have to jump through hoops to do anything, they're less likely to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure advocacy groups, that's their purpose. So they will probably still do it. But the time that goes by when, animals are being treated badly, you can't waste that time. So that's kind of their excuse. Well, you can still get it. But it's not the same situation at all. So they're citing privacy laws, saying that there's people's personal information in there, which I don't understand why that can't be redacted. Like names of like people. I don't know. I don't know if it has addresses of like work. I don't know what kind of privacy issues there are as far as like, personal information. Sure, redact whatever you have to out of that. But like violations of businesses or labs, or organizations, I don't understand what the problem is with privacy with that. You've been in trouble. You've been taken to court. You've been cited violations. You've had to pay fines. You've had to do this. You've had to do that. That's all public. To me, that's very much should be in the public domain and available to people that are interested in it.
Do you know if someone's fighting it?
Yes. So I was kind of like following this story, and just yesterday I saw another article about an update about it. So that's a very good question, Robin.
Oh.
So the Humane Society of the United States yesterday, which was the February 8th, put the USDA on notice that it intends to use legal tools to force the agency to put the information back up, which is tens of thousands of documents, apparently, that concerns animal welfare. And in this letter, they said that the U.S. HSUS reminded the government that under the terms of a 2009 legal settlement that the USDA had with Humane Society, that the USDA had agreed to make public some of the records that it now scrubbed from the database. So basically they're saying you are now violating this legal settlement that we had in 2009. Because they had went to battle about, apparently, in 2009, the Humane Society and the USDA went to battle about records in the past. And there was a settlement that they agreed to make these, whatever was agreed upon records public. Those records have now been taken off. So they're saying you have now, legally, you are not allowed to do this.
Good.
For maybe not all of them, but at least some of them, a legal settlement that you had to keep them up. So they said that they are giving the USDA 30 days to do what they've been legally bound to by this 2009 agreement. And then I think it says after that they can ask the court to reopen the lawsuit from the original, because now they're in breach of what was agreed upon in 2009. So that's very recent. That was just yesterday that happened. So this is definitely ongoing. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's just another thing, this is, people that care about animals care about this, of course. But this is probably just, at the moment, getting buried with all the other horrible things that are happening to humans and animals alike in America right now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's not good. But we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I hope that it ends up being in our favor.
Hopefully this is a good loophole for the Humane Society that it's not a loophole, but hopefully it's, because of this settlement that this might get not stand, at least partially. So that's good. Okay, so there's some hope on that front. The next story is, which I'm sure you've heard of, but it's internet animal rights activists help shut down Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. And this is from CBSNews.com. So you've probably heard that Ringling Brothers is closing down after 146 years, which is crazy that they've been around that long. And PETA's, of course, had a statement about it, as they do about everything. It says 36 years of PETA protests of documenting animals left to die, beaten animals, and much more has reduced attendance to the point of no return. All other animal circuses, roadside zoos, and wild animal exhibitors, including marine amusement parks like SeaWorld and Miami Sea Aquarium, must take note. Society has changed, eyes have been opened, people know now that who these animals are, and we know it is wrong to capture and exploit them. So, of course, Ringling Brothers is saying it's not because of the animal rights activists. They're saying in an era of like Pokemon Go, it's just not, it's the greatest, what is it, like the greatest show on earth, that's what they tote themselves as. It's just not as captivating as it was 146 years ago. Because seeing some of these things 146 years ago were really like a once in a lifetime chance. You know what I mean? See some of these animals, whatever. But they're
in a tent in a parking lot.
Yeah, like that's great. But anyway, they're just saying with just the way things have changed that because of technology and it's just not impressive anymore. That's why, things are closing up. So they just said that it isn't relevant to people in the same way that it was even 50 years ago.
I like to see our animals on IMAX now, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I can't even articulate how big of a deal this is. Because, they were retiring the elephants, but, there were still all the other animals that were involved in the circus. And now to know that they are closing is just insane. Because it's just like, I just can't believe that it actually happened. I mean, the writing was on the wall, I guess. But this, like, 2016 and already 2017 with the SeaWorld stuff and, like, Animals Entertainment have had a good year and a bit. Like, there have been, like, I just can't believe the strides just in this short time for Animals and Entertainment. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully it keeps going. So, bye-bye. We won't miss you, Ringling Brothers. And the next story is France passes historic bill requiring all slaughterhouses to be equipped with cameras. And that's from collectiveevolution.com. So, that's basically what it is. France has now said that all slaughterhouses are going to have cameras, which is insane, like, for our country. to have like a blanket law for this. It's not like a regional thing or anything. That's pretty crazy. And it's in response to like a lot of public outcry after a French animal rights organization, L214, was releasing a lot of videos. Kind of like here, like Mercy for Animals and Compassion Over Killing do a lot of undercover investigations, and their videos stir up a lot of coverage. Assuming this is about kind of the same thing in France. It would go into effect in 2018, which is much quicker than some of the other things that we've talked about on the show, where we're like, oh, this is great. 5 years from now, this is going to go into effect.
Is that because the French government just works way faster than ours?
I don't know, but I was like, oh, that's next year. Yeah. Like, that's great. So I was that popped out at me that's a really good thing. I don't know the reason for it, but I'll take it, whatever it is.
Well, I'll take it.
And the bill passed 28-4. So resoundingly, it wasn't even a close vote. So most people were in favor for this, and whatever. I don't even know what kind of.
So we should move to
whatever
France.
I don't know, but they, in this instance, they are very animal friendly. Nice. So this is interesting. Even better on that count. So even though the law doesn't go into effect until 2018 in full, if it clears the Senate vote in March, there will be a trial run in July of this year. I'm sorry. Oh, so wow. It's already going to be rolling in a few months from now. Yeah. So that's unbelievable. Like, go, like
it's not even like it starts in 2018. It's like 2018. It's
like it'll be like exactly.
That's great.
There's not going to be a slow rollout starting January 1st, 2018. Yeah, totally. So it's like some of the gridlock we get caught in here for bills and stuff. So that's really good. And it's going to be 263 French slaughterhouses, which is so sad to think of how many there are. Like, and that's just in France. I mean, the world. I just can't even comprehend. But that's how many slaughterhouses will be equipped with cameras after that date. And another whole issue, which we've talked about, I talk about. I think I probably mentioned it on the podcast before, is that the slaughterhouse factory farming environment is obviously not only bad for the animals, they're being murdered, but if you have any concern about workers' rights, this is very important too. Because many times slaughterhouse workers are exploited, whether they be illegal immigrants, so they don't have any rights to, demand a good working environment or a safe working environment because they are illegal, or there's a poverty issue as well linked to this kind of thing. So a lot of times these kind of workers are taken advantage of, and they did say, let me see.
I have a question.
Yeah,
really quick. Who's getting the footage? From the cameras?
It doesn't say, but I'm assuming. Oh, actually, they didn't say for sure, but I'm thinking they did say there was going to be some kind of council set up. Okay, it says the bill will also include an independent commission, a national slaughterhouse ethics committee, and it also comes with loaded with stiffer penalties for animal cruelty violations, and they may be involved in dealing with the footage. Right. Okay. I'm sure other people will just have to sort through it. Can you imagine being that person?
No.
That has to sort through it for violations? Oh my God. How long are they going to not jump off a bridge?
Yeah.
Someone has to look at all this footage 24 hours a day. Like, because slaughterhouses, I don't even think they close.
Who
you know what I mean?
That?
And then someone has to watch this over and over and over. Like, that's got to be someone's job, because what the hell's the point? Someone has to watch it. You can't just record it and not watch it, because then you won't find anything that you need to cite people for. Wow. I'm that person. Wow. But anyway, I'm assuming if things are found, that's who will deal with it, this ethics committee.
I hope that job comes with free psychiatric care.
Oh, God. Oh my gosh. That's insane. But, of course, not everybody's pleased about the bill. Higher ups in the French animal agriculture industry, apparently, okay, this is a quote. So apparently they retaliated by, quote, dumping truckloads of manure in front of ministries, blocking traffic with trucks, burning tires, and hanging dead pigs from highway overpasses.
No.
Yes, apparently.
That's so grown up.
Yeah, and that's obviously when you're hanging, you work in this industry and you're hanging dead carcasses from highway passes, that shows their respect for life. Okay?
Horrible.
I mean, that's like the little, whatever you want to say, like a little, they respect the animals that come through their facilities. They're shown respect.
They're just
that is not
reaffirming the decision.
Exactly. They're not doing themselves any favors by pulling shit like this, like little children. And a child would never even think of doing something like that. But, yeah, that's bad. And I hope they just, suck it up, jerks. They're not even closing you down. They're just making you not be more evil than you already are.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's, and I just want to throw one thing in it that I was looking for about the workers' rights. And as we mentioned before, slaughterhouses have a 95 to 100% turnover rate every year. So many people cannot stand the work, the bloody work they have to do, or just the atmosphere, other things as well. And it says 70% of workers suffer from respiratory conditions. So that hopefully I don't know, I mean, it's not, the video is not going to test the air, but, maybe it will see something that can help with that as well. It says Tyson Foods, for instance, was found to have routinely denied workers bathroom breaks, leading to many of the employees wearing diapers.
What?
Okay, so this is the kind of shit that they pull, not only to the animals, but the people that work there out of necessity. Nobody that doesn't have to is going to wear a diaper to work and not use the restroom. Because,
so
if you're not allowed to use the restroom,
crazy.
you have to be in quite a position in your life to stay there. You know what I mean?
I don't even understand how that's illegal.
It's not legal. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? But this is the kind of stuff they don't want people seeing. Like, even besides animals. So if you care about workers and you don't care about animals, you should still be for this law. Yeah. Regardless of how you feel. If you care about humans or animals or both, this is for you, in my opinion. So, it's crazy. But this is all good. And hopefully they, they're still going to be killing animals. But hopefully at least suffering as possible, it will happen. And workers won't be exploited. That's the best case scenario for this. So, but that's the news. So, Robin, what's been happening at the dollhouse?
Well, the dollhouse has been empty.
So quiet in here.
Because the Robin has been in Spain the entire month. But before I left, I did make a heart-shaped pizza for Valentine's Day. And that's up at vegan.com if you want to see that recipe. And I used the Butcher's Son cheese for that pizza, which makes everything better. I could just sleep with that cheese. And
I'm hungry. I'm going to eat dinner after this. Talk fast. I'm having pizza, but that made me hungry. I forgot that I wasn't really feeling it till you said that.
So the pizza's the only thing I made. I did do a video, a short video that's up on my YouTube. And if anyone is interested in following me on YouTube, I need 100 followers to be able to have the Vegan Dollhouse name. Like
what?
YouTube doesn't let you customize your URL
until
you have 100 followers. So, and I'm only at like 50. So hook me up, people. Follow me, please.
Oh, okay, I'll follow you.
You have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying now.
Thank you. Subscribe. That's
Do
what
it.
I meant. I get, all the social media things have different
The
words
lingo.
for follow. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I've been making, but I did visit some places that had phenomenal food while I was in Barcelona and Zaragoza and Madrid and Tenerife. And some of my favorite things were, there's a place called Amarino, and I don't know if we have it in the States, but it's kind of like a chain in a lot of the big cities in Spain. And I believe that I've seen it in other countries as well. I just am not positive if it's here. But they make, it's a gelato place. It's mostly not vegan, but they have 6 vegan flavors, and they make your ice cream cone in a rose shape.
I saw a picture of that. That was pretty cool.
Isn't it
I feel
so
like it was
cute?
like, if you even kind of stuck your tongue out and took a lick, it would fall over though. I feel like it looked very delicate.
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
It wasn't, no.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
it stayed put.
It looked like a bouquet. It didn't
was
even look like
beautiful.
just like a rose. It looked like a bouquet with like the cone is like the stick.
Oh, yeah,
the stem
yeah.
or whatever.
A bouquet.
Yeah,
yes,
it
you're
looked
right.
like a bouquet.
Yeah, it's cute. I wanted to learn how to do it. I was like watching her. I wanted to videotape her putting my ice cream cone together like a psycho, but I didn't. But I want to learn how to make my ice cream cones like that because now I just feel like if I go to a scoop shop and they give me a scoop, I'm going to be
Just a
disappointed.
scoop?
Yeah.
Just a scoop. That's the
Right?
best you can do. You want some ice cream art. Like latte art.
So anyone can look up Amarino and you can see that they do that to everyone. It's not just mine.
Oh.
It wasn't just for me special. And in Barcelona, I ate a lot of donuts, which it was kind of exciting for me because in general, I think Spain does not excel at desserts. I had a dessert that was called Turon, which is normally not vegan, but I found a vegan one at a vegetarian store. And it was delicious because I got the chocolate one. They have it in all flavors. But other than that, sorry.
That's staying in.
But other than that, their desserts are not great. So when I got to Barcelona, I got so excited because they have a bakery called Gopal, which has donuts and donuts with like filling and a bunch of other things that are delicious. I got this little chocolate mousse tartlet thing that was so
Ooh,
good.
I love mousse.
Oh, so good. I even went into just a random bakery that wasn't vegan, and I just asked the chick if they had anything vegan, and they had like a delicious vegan donut with chocolate inside.
Ooh, nice.
And I was just like, what? It just seems to be a really vegan-friendly city in general. I mean, they have multiple vegan bars, and I don't know. It was just, I really liked being in Barcelona. I went to a vegan clothing store there, which the name of it is slipping my mind right now, but I talked to the owner for a while, and she was telling me about how there's an organization there that's working with the zoo to not close down the zoo, but like make the zoo profitable without animals, basically.
Right. Which is the ideal situation.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Which is
I
the
was
SeaWorld
just like,
ideal situation too.
how is Barcelona got their shit together better than San Francisco?
It's good. It's good to see somewhere that's
I
making
know.
progress.
Yeah. So that made me really happy being in Barcelona. Zaragoza had a couple of vegan places, and I found a mural there, like some street art that was like Save the Animals.
Oh, cool.
Which I thought was really cool.
I always get excited when we go to LA and outside of Intelligentsia and Silver Lake. There's usually a "Not Your Mom, Not Your Milk" like spray paint
on the ground.
like the
yeah.
like the stencil.
Yes.
I'm always like, hey, you all look at that. You all look at it and drink your coffee with your cow's milk in it.
Yeah, I remember actually seeing that. Maybe not right in front of Intelligentsia, but like a block away.
Yeah.
So somebody was doing some good stenciling there. And Madrid had an Amarino, and also, like, I think 6 new vegan places in the past year
Jesus,
have
that's
opened
crazy.
there. Yeah. So that was really remarkable.
Good. It's good. It's happening everywhere. It's really good.
Yeah. But shockingly, I feel like I ate more vegan food in the Canary Islands, which is not what I was anticipating at all. But kind of how when we went to Hawaii and noticed how much vegan stuff there was in Hawaii, I guess any place that's kind of like a touristy location.
They gotta get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people are traveling there, there's gonna be more vegans visiting.
Yep.
Like anywhere.
Yeah. So one of the places in Tenerife that was really cool, that was walking distance from our hotel, was Sweet Paradise, which was like a super cute little, it looks like a dessert cafe kind of, a little bit similar to Petunia's in Portland. And the girl who worked there, or I'm assuming she ran it, was like a little punk rock girl, and just like the whole situation was just adorable. But one of the things that was hard for me about being in Spain is I consider myself to be kind of punctual, and like if I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. And I expect that when people have hours that they are going to be there when their hours on the door say they're going to be there. Spain was the worst. I mean, multiple places over and over and over. I would go to places and they would be closed. And I'm just like, Really? It says it right here on
Don't
your
even put them
window.
up. Just put, it's open when we're here.
Yes,
then.
thank you.
You know
That
what
would
I mean?
be preferable.
When the door's unlocked, we're open.
Yeah, then I would call first before I
Yeah.
went if I wasn't expecting. I got towards the end of my trip, I got to the point where I refused to even go somewhere without calling first, just to make sure.
Yeah.
But it's just, if you're not used to it.
No, I am like the same.
Yeah.
I am punctual. Like if you say you're going to be somewhere when like, I just, like when we went to Dublin, I didn't talk about this part because I ended up going to cornucopia, but we wanted this because we ate cornucopia before we went to Berlin, and then we were there after Berlin. So I was like, well, I want to go to the Breakfast Club because I really liked it. And we stood outside there for 15 minutes after they were supposed to open, and no one showed up. And I was like, okay,
so frustrating.
I was like, they have 5 more minutes, and then we're leaving, going to cornucopia.
And also, you're like hungry.
Yeah, it's in the morning. Like I waited till first we thought that one place said they opened at 11, so we were there at 11. Oh, somewhere else says it's 12. So then we waited another hour, and then they didn't open again, and like the hours weren't consistent about wherever they had all their hours. But actually on their website, I think it did say 12. But I had looked like on their Facebook so I don't remember where. Regardless, they were supposed to be open like for 15 minutes. There was other people waiting outside, and I just left. And I was like, damn it, I like this place. I mean, I'm not in Dublin every day, but we went to cornucopia and had a great. And cornucopia was open right on time. Line out the door. As soon as it was already packed.
Cornucopia is always packed.
Yeah, they opened the fucking doors on time, so that annoyed me as well. Like I can't do that. I can't stand it.
I know.
Like, sure.
It's obvious that Dublin needs more vegan stuff. By the way that cornucopia is constantly packed and you can't even find a place to sit. No. Like they need other places, so those places are not stepping up.
No.
Ugh, so frustrating.
Yeah. And they lost out the Breakfast Club's a small place. It's a pancake and yogurt place. So like they kind of share the space.
So cute.
And there was 4 of us that were going to eat there. That's not, you know what I mean? Like open your door and let us give you money. Like if you want to lose out on money, that's fine, I guess, because we went to cornucopia and bought, however much it was. So I agree. I couldn't, I was not happy.
Yeah. Yep. So I went to a couple Italian places on Tenerife, but basically I'm going to be doing blog posts. I did one blog post that's up now on Zaragoza. It's at vegandollhouse.com if anybody wants to read that, but I will be doing one on Barcelona, Madrid, and Tenerife. I'm just not sure when I'll get to it, but
yeah, no, I know the feeling.
But there was just so many, it's too many for me to talk about on the podcast, so anyone who's interested,
we gotta leave a little crumb for them when they go to the websites. Otherwise, why are we talk about it all here? They're like, well, I already know everything,
Yeah. So, and also feel free to reach out to me on Instagram if you are going to Spain in the next few weeks, and you need some recommendations. And should we go to Wag or Whimper?
Did we want to talk about my trip a little bit?
Yeah.
No? We don't have to.
No, we do.
Okay, so I went to LA for my birthday. I went to Disneyland on my birthday, and then we spent the next day just in LA eating, basically. And finding things to do between eating. Mm-hmm. So I actually went to a few places that Robin had suggested last time she went, and I talked about it on the podcast. But I did go to Little Pine Brunch, which was like freaking amazing. I had like the poppy seeds pancakes and the French toast. The French toast was to share with other people, but I ended up just like...
The French toast is so good.
Yeah, I was like, share this, and I was like, oh, it's so good. It was just like carb overload, but it was so good.
And whipped cream on top?
On the French toast? Mm-hmm. No, I don't remember. I don't think so. It was good, though. Okay. Whatever, it was good. And we went to Pomegranate, which I had 2 desserts at Pomegranate. Oh my god.
They're little, though.
Well,
and they're healthy.
Well, the strawberry cheesecake one wasn't little.
Oh, really?
I got it was all a mini cake. Basically, I ate that.
The strawberry cheesecake was so good.
Yeah, and then I got a raspberry cheesecakey thing, which was super good. And then we had Crossroads, which is always good, and it was insane. I'd never been there for dinner, and it was absolutely insane. We had a reservation, and it didn't.
Is Crossroads the one that's in the anti-mall, anarchist mall?
No, it's its own place. It's a nice restaurant. Oh, okay. You never been there?
I guess not.
I've only been there.
What is the one that's in the anti-mall?
I don't know. You're not talking about Shojin, are you?
No.
Okay, then I don't know. I don't know what that is.
There's like this thing called their anti-mall, which is like kind of like an anarchist mall where everything's yarn bombed. Like all the trees and all the everything's
Oh, no, I
yarn
don't even know what
bombed.
that is.
And they have like a cute record store. And like everything's indie that's in the mall. So
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
that's
They
cool.
call it an anti-mall.
I'd like to go in there, but I didn't know anything about it.
I get Crossroads mixed up with the place that's in there.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, this
Okay.
is Crossroads is like a high end, like nice place. It has its own building on Melrose. Yeah, it's really nice. And then we went to Kitchen Mouse, which was like you said, like you thought I liked the inside. It was really cute, but the food was just okay. I'll give it another shot, but it definitely wasn't the highlight of the trip. But
Well, it's also gluten-free, right?
I don't know. Is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
I mean, it was okay. But we also in Anaheim we had vegan pizza, and I tried a new place as well called Healthy Junk. which is
Oh,
really
yeah,
good.
I love their logo. It's so cute.
Yeah, and I had like a Philly cheesesteak there, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Super good. So
I liked everything we got from Healthy Junk.
yeah, so some good eats. Definitely good eats there. So that's it. It was a quick
Wait, was
trip.
the pizza place you went to the partner one for the one that was in San Jose? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it was very good.
Was it similar? Did it taste similar to you?
Yeah, I actually had that first. And
Oh,
they told
before
us
here? Oh, okay.
they told us about
Oh,
plant-based
yeah, that's
pizza.
right. I think you told me that.
Yeah, and yeah, it was very good. I love it. Yeah, so it was just quick. That was a quick little trip, and it was like 2 pounds of food I ate because I gained 2 pounds. On
Yeah.
the trip.
And did you bring food into Disneyland, or did you find enough vegan food there?
Well, I had the Dole Whip,
Mm-hmm.
Dole Whip float. I had that, and then I had my Mickey pretzel. That's the only stuff I ate in Disneyland. And we
Okay.
left for lunch and we left for dinner and came back.
Oh, because you can leave and go back.
Just gonna get a stamp.
Huh. Interesting.
So those was my quick trip to LA. So those are my eats.
Sounds fun.
Now we can do Wag or Whimper,
Okay.
which you're just basically wagging about some stuff, and I'm just commenting on the stuff.
Okay. I tasted a vegetable while I was in Spain. I didn't only taste it.
I saw this
ate it
picture of
multiple
you on
times.
Instagram with
Yes.
this apparatus.
This
You
apparatus.
were embracing an apparatus, and I'm like, what is happening?
What did you think my apparatus was?
I didn't know I had to do a double take. I'm like, what is that? Did you get this off AdamandEve.com or what?
Oh, wow. So the apparatus that Ashley's referring to in Spain is called cardo. And I think here I've seen it be called cardoon and cardoony. And so I'm not sure which is more common. And I definitely have never seen it here. But when I posted the apparatus picture on Instagram, I got multiple comments from people who recognized it from California. So Shane and Marie from SM Vegan, they said that they've seen it at Berkeley Bowl. And someone else said that somebody in Santa Cruz grows it a couple months out of the year, and I guess you can get it at farmers markets, or maybe if you subscribe to certain
You have to really
CSA
look for
boxes.
it, though.
Yes,
If you want to, yeah.
It
You have to
doesn't-
know what
Yeah,
it is. You
what it
You
is.
have to seek it out.
And I think if you saw it in a store, you might actually just be a little frightened because it is enormous.
It is.
It's like, think of a celery stalk. Do you
Yeah.
call those stalks?
Yeah, I think so. It does look like
Think
that.
of a celery
But like 3 times
stalk,
the length.
bunch of celery, whatever you
Yeah.
call it. But yes, like times 4.
Yeah,
It's just huge.
yeah.
And so
It's a celery stalk on Viagra, basically. It's
you
huge.
just been waiting to say Viagra, haven't
My
you?
whole life, I've been waiting to say it's like a celery stalk on Viagra, and finally my life's dream has come true in this moment. Because it finally was in context. I was able to say it. Ah, I could die happy now.
Oh my goodness. I mean, when we're talking about Viagra, we can all die happy. Really.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of that stuff, right?
Especially like when you're an old man and you like have a heart attack and die during sex.
That's
That's
what
what-
Same wavelength.
Yes. Same dirty wavelength.
We're G-rated 99% of the time, I
Hey,
promise.
you look, there's an E right next to the name of this episode. It's for explicit. It's not for
Do we have
easy. It's
any-
not for easy listening.
Do we have the E?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we do talk about Slaughterhouses.
They drop the F-bomb a lot. So, yeah. If you cuss on it. If you cuss on it, you gotta
It's
be-
not for easy listening. my god, you're hilarious.
Oh,
I'm
stop
crying over
it.
here.
Stop it.
Okay, so basically
what
this
was- oh, yeah.
vegetable,
Okay, the vegetable,
the
yeah.
vegetable is, it tastes like artichokes to me, which is
Okay,
what
I
makes
like
it so, and also when I looked up the nutritional content, so good for you. Like high in tons of stuff. B vitamins, folate, like everything that vegans want in their
Yeah.
diet, basically. So, Cardo made me wag.
Does Viagra make you wag? No.
We don't need to talk about
Don't need
that.
it? Okay. Not in this house? Okay. Good to know.
So, does that wrap up our episode?
Yeah.
All right. That wraps up episode 17. If you're listening on YouTube or on iTunes and you haven't subscribed, please do. And you can definitely leave us comments. We love comments. Don't we love comments?
Yeah, we love comments. And I didn't even check if anybody commented. So sorry if you commented in the last month. We'll get you next time around because I
Definitely.
neglected to look until this very second.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry about that.
We're saving it, really.
Yeah.
If there's a comment. We like to prolong
We'll
it.
give you we'll be sing a song or something for you, or be like, yeah, so and so, to make it extra special. 'Cause you had to
Also,
wait.
we sing the song at the intro of this, so
Yeah.
whoever's listened to that
It's
probably does not
dedicated-
want us to sing anymore.
Okay, whoever, if you, maybe not, maybe there's nobody and nobody cares, but if you commented last month and we didn't get to you, that song next month is dedicated to you.
It's true.
Okay.
So if you are commenting on iTunes, please rate us 5 stars. And if you don't want to rate us 5 stars, don't comment.
Go
at all.
away.
And Ashley, if anybody wants to find you on the internet, where do they go?
You can find me at theveganadventure.com. I'm still working on the Berlin post, don't hate me. But you can also find all my social media links on that website as well.
And we have social media links for our Dolls and Donuts podcast as well. So you can find us on the internet at dollsanddonuts.com, but you can also find us on Twitter. Even though we don't tweet that much, we like to get messages, so feel free to contact us there. And that is dolls_donuts, and on Instagram it's dolls&donuts. And you can find me at vegandollhouse.com. And go to my YouTube and subscribe.
And subscribe. Do you say what it is? Or
I don't know what it is because they won't let me.
So how are they going to find you?
I think you just type in Vegan Dollhouse.
Just
and you'll
search
find it.
Vegan
Yeah.
Dollhouse and you'll see it. Okay. Good thing I figured it out for you guys.
Yeah.
They would have been like, how do I? Yelling at the car. Well, how do I do it if it's not your name?
But you can
You're
contact
welcome.
me everywhere else too.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
figure it out. Okay. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Dolls and donuts, dolls and donuts. We are 2 dolls. We like animals. As a bonus, we eat donuts.